Next we have Greta Zabo. Her first dive is a 101A forward dive straight, degree of difficulty 1.4. Scores are 4.5 or 8.5. Josie Cox with her first dive is a 101A forward dive straight, degree of difficulty 1.4. Scores of 5, 5.5. Next we have Lainey Cash, and her first dive is a 101C forward dive tuck, degree of difficulty 1.2. Judges' scores of 4, 4.5, and Barbara Fuchs. Her first dive is 103B forward 1.5 somersault pike, degree of difficulty 1.7. Judges' scores are 8, 8, and 8. Up next we have Cy Kernan, his first dive, which is a 103B forward 1.5 somersault pike, degree of difficulty 1.7. Judges' scores 7.5, 7, and 7. Next is Lucas Pitcher with his first dive, which is 103B forward 1.5 somersault pike, degree of difficulty 1.7. Judges' scores 6.5, 7.5, 7. Penny with her second dive, 102C forward somersault tuck, degree of difficulty 1.4. Hold on just a second. Again, this is Penny with her their second dive, 102C forward somersault tuck, degree of difficulty 1.4. Judges score 4.5, 5, and 5. Greta with her second dive, 202A back somersault straight, degree of difficulty 1.7. Judges score 5, 5, and 5. Josie Cox, second dive, 102C, forward somersault tuck, degree of difficulty 1.4. Judges score 5.5, 4.5, 5.5. Lainey Cash with her second dive, 202A back somersault straight, degree of difficulty 1.7. Judges score 5, 5, and 5. Barbara with her second dive, 203C back, 1.5 somersault tuck, degree of difficulty 2.0. Judges scored 5, 5, and 4.5. Side with his second dive, 204C back double somersault tuck, degree of difficulty 2.0. Judges score 5, 4.5, 5.5, and 6. Lucas with his second dive, 5211A back dive, half twist straight, degree of difficulty 1.8. Judges score 5.5, 5, 5.5. Penny, third dive, 401C inward dive tuck, degree of difficulty 1.4. dive, 201A, back dive straight, degree of difficulty 1.7. Judges scores 4, 5, and 5. Josie's third dive, 401B, inward dive type, degree of difficulty 1.5. Judges score 3.5, 3.5, 4.5. Laney's third dive, 102C, forward somersault tuck, degree of difficulty 1.4. Judges score 5.5, 5.5, 5. Barbara's third dive, 304C, reverse double somersault tuck, degree of difficulty 2.1. Judges score 7, 7.5, 7.5. Size third dive, 403C, inward 1.5 somersault tuck, degree of difficulty 2.2. Judges score 7, 7, and 7. Lucas' third dive, 401B, inward dive pike, degree of difficulty 1.5. Judges score 7.5, 7.5, and 7.5. Penny's fourth dive, 201A, back dive straight, degree of difficulty 1.7. Judges score 4.5, 4.5, 4.5. Greta's fourth dive, 5221D, back somersault half twist free, degree of difficulty 1.7. Judges score 4, 4.5, and 4. Josie's fourth dive, 201A back dive straight, degree of difficulty 1.7. Judges score 6, 5.5, and 6. Laney's fourth dive, 402C inward somersault tuck, degree of difficulty 1.6. Judges score 5.5, 6, and 5. Barbara's fourth dive, 5231D, back 1.5 somersault, half twist free, degree of difficulty 2.1. Judges score 8, 7.5, and 7. Size fourth dive, 5124D, forward somersault, 2 twists free, degree of difficulty 2.3. Judges score 4.5, 5.5, and 5.5. Lucas' fourth dive, 302C reverse somersault tuck, degree of difficulty 1.6. Judges score 6, 5.5, and 5.5. Penny's fifth dive, 5211A, back dive, half twist. Hold on a second. Sorry, just 1 second. All right, moving on to Penny's fifth dive, 5211A, back dive, half twist straight, degree of difficulty 1.8. Judges score 4.5, 5.5, and 5.5. Greta's fifth dive, 401C inward dive tuck, degree of difficulty 1.4. Ladies fifth dive, 103C, forward 1.5 somersault tuck, degree of difficulty 1.6. Judges scores 5, 5, and 5. Barbara's fifth dive, 403C, inward 1.5 somersault tuck, degree of difficulty 2.2. Judges scored 7.5, 7, and 7. Size fifth dive, 104C, forward double somersault tuck, degree of difficulty 2.2. Judges score 5.5, 6, and 5. Lucas fifth dive, 105C, forward 2.5 somersault tuck, degree of difficulty 2.4. Judges score 5.5, 6, and 5. Penny's sixth dive, 5111A, forward dive, half twist straight, degree of difficulty 1.8. Judges score 4, 4.5, 4.5. Greta's sixth dive, 102C, forward somersault tuck, degree of difficulty 1.4. Judges scores 5, 5, and 4.5. Josie's sixth dive, 202C, back somersault tuck, degree of difficulty 1.5. Judges scores 4.5, 5, and 5. Laney's sixth dive, 5221D, back somersault half twist free. Degree of difficulty 1.7. Judges score 4.5, 4.5, 4. Barbara's sixth dive, 105C, forward 2.5 somersault tuck. Degree of difficulty 2.4. Size 6 dive, 105C, forward 2.5 somersault tuck, degree of difficulty 2.4. Judges scores 6, 6.5, and 6. Lucas 6 dive, 202A back somersault straight, degree of difficulty 1.7. Judges scores 4.5, 5.5, and 5. And that concludes tonight's meeting. Here are the results for tonight's meet. With a 133.55, we have Greta Zabo. With a 135.40, we have Lady Catch. With a 140.75, we have Penny Cummings. With a 147.75, we have Josie Cox. And with a new record, breaking the old record of 215, with a score of 253.75, we have Barbara Fuchs.